Hello and welcome to Kelly's Wordy Reactions, where I review content and videos that I find interesting and hopefully you will too, then react and provide my commentary. If you would, please hit the thumbs up and like the video. Also subscribe to the channel if you have not already. If you're a new subscriber, welcome, and thank you for subscribing. Feel free to hop into the chat while you're here or just sit back and listen. But whatever you decide, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. Now, let's get this show on the road. All right, so hold on. I always have to remember to cut the beat. Okay. Get back to our song here. All right, so I did want to come back and talk yesterday before the Diddy trial ended, and I think most people did believe that they would get to a verdict, unanimous verdict today, and they absolutely did. Hold on, let me see something. And so, yeah, they absolutely did get to a verdict today. And what a day it was, right? It was quite the day. At least it was for me, because I was trying to work as well as follow what was going on all day. Then there were shenanigans outside the courtroom. There was there was the verdict, which came in relatively quickly. It seems like everybody went home, slept on what they were, maybe said a little prayer, slept on it, woke up, and they knew exactly what they wanted to do this morning. So I guess that's how that worked out, because it came in relatively quickly. I don't have a time for when it did come in, but it came in pretty quick. Okay, so then after that there was just I don't know, for some people the heartbreak, for some people the celebrations. There was the content creators, at least like I said, for me, all around the front of the court, asking people what they thought, people being devastated, funny thing for me was that there were way more supporters for Diddy once the verdict came in than there were any time. I never really saw that many people outwardly supporting Diddy as I did after the verdict was in. So that part was interesting to me, because I was like, okay, it seemed like very few people were supportive. Some people saying that they didn't really see how they were going to get a conviction on the RICO and the trafficking. And it was very, for them, it just wasn't matching up. So that's the type of comments I heard. I didn't really hear a lot of comments where people were just super supportive. But once that verdict was in, people were cheering, happy. I don't know. It was kind of crazy. It was actually very crazy. But I did want, hello and welcome in. I did want and hope to get, like I said, some predictions yesterday, but I just was not able to come back. So I did want to get some thoughts on what people are thinking now that he is convicted on the 2 counts that he's convicted on. he didn't get convicted on, he got acquitted, I guess that's the way you'd put it, on the most serious charges. Um, the ones he did get convicted on, it's still, he could still serve a fair amount of time. I just don't think it's likely that he'll get a lot of time for those, but he could. And then when the judge did finally, so of course his lawyers requested bail, and um, letters started coming in. I heard Cassie sent in a letter. I heard Cassie's friend that testified, one of the male friend, sent in a letter. Who else sent in a letter? I'm sure the prosecutor. I don't know if she actually had to submit a letter. I don't know how that would have been for the prosecution. So used to saying these words. Okay, I don't know how that would have gone for the prosecution if she just argued her point right then and there. But and then of course Diddy's attorneys argued for him and made their case for him to be able to get out. And then they met back at 4 p.m., I believe. And then, or I don't, it may have been 5 there. Can't remember, but they reconvened. And then, of course, the judge denied Diddy bond. So I just kind of wanted to see if I could get some thoughts from you all, how y'all feel about it. So let me see, because my stream looks like it's lagging. And I don't know why. Sometimes it's looking like that. Sometimes it's pretty normal, but it looks like it's lagging for me from my point of view. So let me look at my phone real quick and see if it's lagging. Let's see. Oh, it looks smooth on the phone. Oh, it looks smooth on the phone. Okay. Okay, so I guess I'll wait and see if anybody wants to come up and talk about your feelings on what happened, what may happen in the future, as far as what type of time do you think they're going to give him. And then also, I'm not sure if his attorneys can argue for bond again. I know for that day, it seems like what they were saying was for that particular day, it's a no. They weren't going to allow any more arguing. Basically, he came in and gave his decision, and then they kept trying to talk, and the answer was just no. So, but I don't know if maybe on what is it? It's just a few days away, July 8th. They're going to come back into court, and I believe that's going to be more so a hearing to talk about expediting his sentencing. So I'm not sure if they can argue again for him to be out on bond. I think they needed to put together a better argument maybe and kind of anticipate what the other side was going to say. I don't know if they didn't expect him to be convicted on those lower charges, and I'm not sure what they were thinking, but it seems like they weren't like truly prepared, and I feel like that's why Agnifilo kept trying to argue and argue and argue even after the judge had given his decision. So I don't know. I don't know if that would have been possible for him to change his mind once he actually came out and ruled on the motion, but they kept trying to argue it. So I don't know. Okay, so hmm. Oh, okay. All right. So let's see. Other than Diddy, let's see what else is going on. So I saw this, well, not other than Diddy, but kind of like in other Diddy news. So, in other Diddy news across the internet today, oh man, okay, exit and then reload. Okay, so I quickly saw an article about 50 Cent, and I wanted to hear how he weighed in. So, this is an article. Let me bring this up. This is an article. Hello, and welcome in if you're just coming in. Let's see. Feel free to hop into the chat with any Diddy opinions that you have. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to bring up this article from 50 Cent, or no, not from 50 Cent. about I'm going to bring up an article about 50 Cent. So we can see what he was getting into today on the internet. All right, so and it reads 50 Cent congratulates rival Diddy for not guilty verdict on top charges. And he calls him the gay John Gotti. Wow. Well, 50 Cent, he pretty much never disappoints when it comes to when it comes to giving Diddy a hard time. Okay, let's see. That's a whole like show. All right, so 50 Cent was quick to react to the Sean Diddy Combs verdict on Wednesday, seemingly hailing the disgraced rapper for beating the feds before quickly dubbing him the gay John Gotti. Diddy beat the feds, that boy a bad man, the rapper said in an Instagram post alongside a photo of himself grinning and applauding alongside him. Oh, okay. Alongside himself grinning and applauding emojis. 50 Cent, who has a long standing feud with the disgraced music mogul, then compared him to the infamous mafia boss who was nicknamed the Teflon Don after prosecutors couldn't get charges to stick. And then, in quotes, beat the RICO. He the gay John Gotti, the rapper added. Wow, 50 Cent. Oh my goodness. That looks like AI. Probably is. Okay. So this must be what he posted from Instagram. It definitely looks like an AI picture to me. And then that's just the caption that he put in. Did he beat the Rico? That boy a bad man! Exclamation mark. It looks like he's, are those clapping hands? What is that emoji? I can't tell. He like the gay John Gotti. 50 Cent. Okay. There is something going on here. I don't know why this is slow like this. Okay. Let me just scroll this way. Maybe it won't mess up so much. Okay, the Inda Club hip hop artist was name dropped during the trial back in May during shocking testimony that touched on the long-standing feud between the hip hop legends. Diddy's ex-assistant Capricorn Clark had told jurors her boss once implied he might pull a pow pow on Diddy. I missed that. I completely missed that. Let's see. I don't like all the back and forth. Did he say that? Okay, so in quotes, I don't like all the back and forth. I like pow pows. Clark recalled Combs telling his manager after seeing 50 Cent at an MTV event. Oh, really? I missed that part of Capricorn Clark's testimony. Well, 50 has plenty of back and forth. So he would be in much more trouble than he's in right now if he was serious. All right, so 50 Cent, who famously took 9 bullets during a 2000 Pow Pow event in Queens, reacted to the name drop with mocking faux fear. Wait a minute, Puffy's got a Pow Pow? I can't believe this. I don't feel safe. The New York City native posted on Instagram after the testimony. LOL. The beef between the pair began nearly 20 years ago after 50 Cent, whose real name, Curtis James Jackson III, released a diss track, The Bomb, in 2006 that accused Combs of knowing who Pow Pow, the notorious B.I.G. He spent much of the Combs ex trafficking trial roasting him over the torrent of graphic evidence and accusations leveled against him. Oh man. Yeah, I think I looked a couple days to see what he was saying. And this we know, the Bad Boy Records founder was ultimately found guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. He was acquitted on the 2 trafficking charges and the 1 racketeering charge. So the acquittals on the trafficking counts mean he will avoid a 15-year mandatory minimum sentence. He could have faced a life in prison if he were convicted on the trafficking or racketeering conspiracy. Combs now faces a maximum 10-year prison sentence on each of the 2 prostitution counts. And you know, this is YouTube friendly speak. So I know it sounds funny, but that's the way we got to do it. Okay. Miss, is that Mimi? Hi. Hello, hello. Okay, I got you. Thank you. All right. So that's what 50 Cent was doing today while all of this was going on. And then something else that was going on. Let me stop sharing this. Oh, and this background. So I don't normally do a virtual background. I don't know if I like it or not. I thought I would just try it. But I did this because this is Miami and this looks like a wonderful place that I would love to be sometime this summer, if at all possible. I would love to be here in Miami, but I chose a nice Miami beach background because in honor of Diddy, I know he'd like to be in Miami too. I think that's where they were arguing for him to go and stay was his Miami house, but unfortunately the judge was like, "Boy, stop playing." The judge was like, "Boy, stop playing. You will not walk out of here today after we tried to put you away for life and the jury couldn't see it. But we tried it, and unless they had found you not guilty on everything, then yeah, we're not gonna just let you walk out. Not today. I think they will." So that's what I wanted to do also is get y'all's predictions. But let me show you something else. Because this is something that was erupting outside of the courthouse today. And it was so much stuff that was going on that was just a hoot. Man. Okay, so let me share this screen with you all so you can see this. Just in case you didn't see it. Let me show you. Let me share that one. All right. So this is the hilarious Armand Wiggins, right? I didn't know Armand was this entertaining until he started reporting live from the trial. And man, Armand has given me, however you say it, he has given me so many laughs in the evenings after the trial, and I've got a lot of value. I mean, I have really enjoyed looking at the after trial reporting from so many content creators. And that's pretty much why I stopped, because at the beginning I was trying to go through each day at the end of the day and give the recap. And one thing was it was getting harder and harder to give the recap because the outlets that were reporting very thoroughly from like day one, they stopped having a very thorough report. And maybe because the transcripts were going out and it was so much reporting going on around the trial, I don't know if they just decided to stop doing it or if they never meant to dedicate so much manpower to Diddy. But basically, they did. They kind of stopped putting out like a full, thorough reporting of everything that had happened. So, and then there were so many content creators going to New York and coming out, during breaks, coming out of the courthouse. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to them. I'm gonna sit this one out because it's they have a lot of good information. They're talking about what the jury is looking like, and they're talking about what the family, how the reactions are, just so much good information coming out directly from them. I was like, okay, I'm going to let them have it because I don't have this type of information, nor do I want to listen to them and then go report what they reported, the live from the courthouse content creators. So they did an excellent job. And there's a lot of controversy after everything is said and done, because it's like when those who had a really strong opinion, when they weren't right, now they're getting so much backlash about it. So I'm gonna play this, and where is it? Okay, I'm gonna play this, and so you can see how this whole thing played out. So this is Armand Wiggins right here. He's reporting. He's walking through, doing his thing, talking to some people as he's walking, asking some questions. Just being a all around reporter from outside the courthouse at this point. And then there's a lady, another content creator, Tisa Tells, and this huge commotion from one content creator. And I think his name is Ratchet TV, I think. So forgive me if it's not, because I'm not real familiar with him. But so he comes up, and this is what happens.
It's like a lot going on. I'm all over the place. I don't know, but I'm gonna be back. Oh God. Oh shit, now they about to go. Oh my God. They about to come over here and start fucking with this lady. Oh my God. They about to come over here and start fucking with this lady. They about to come over here and start fucking with this lady. They look. They, oh my, oh, they about to come over here and start fucking with this lady. Look, she running, look. Look. Look.
Platform to gain more followers and money. You lied to your whole platform.
Look.
To gain money. You lied to everybody to gain money. Are you gonna give your subscribers their money back for the lies you told?
Oh my God. Child.
You're the mad one. Bro, me, bro. You think I'm broke?
Oh.
Armand Wiggins.
You ain't gonna put a finger on me. I'm not touching nobody. I'm not in harm. I'm not even within 6 feet of you. You're a liar. You are a liar, Tisa.
What?
Liar, Tisa. They told us that is a liar.
They saying that Tisa said, they saying that.
And she's working for the prosecution. And she was paid by the prosecution. She's a federal informant, and she was paid by the prosecution to tell lies on social media. That's what this right here in front of the court building, that she's a fucking liar.
Oh my God.
You don't want to say week, but 8 weeks, we don't care about that.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
In the lies you told. You gained your momentum off the lies you told on P. Diddy. Now go back and apologize to her family for lying.
She also lied on Jonathan Majors
and she's full of Robinson.
She hates black men.
She hates black people.
And look at all the cameras. This is very uncomfortable for her. It's a lot going on.
They calling this lady everything but a child of God.
And I'm just here. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing you the news. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what you guys wanted me to do. They said, "Why is she behind the fence, girl? You better act." You see, I'm not gonna say nothing. But girl, you know what it gives, girl. When certain people have privileges, that's just what it gives. But I ain't no hater, no tea. But girl, certain people can just do certain things and other people can't. There's no shade. But I ain't pressed. I'm just here.
I had to do it, Mom.
You had to do that? It was eating at you.
nigga was out here doing all that. I'd be doing the same thing to him. Who else is lying? Point me in the direction of another lie. I'll do the same thing. She's sweating over there because she knows.
Yeah, they were doing a whole lot. So Armand just, walking and talking, and then all of a sudden, I guess he heard the guy coming up on him. But the guy wasn't talking to him. This guy, Ratchet TV, looks like he was telling Tisa tales. So first of all, she's standing back there trying to do her commentary. So she's, doing her reporting and everything, doing her talking to her live. And then here comes this guy running up saying, you were lying about everything. Apologize to your followers. You got all these followers off of line. You need to apologize to them. I think he was also saying you need to apologize to Diddy or something. I don't. It was so over the top. I just felt like that is so over the top. Like the people and their relationship with their following, like, what's it to you? That's really how I felt about it. And I kind of thought, okay, I mean, what difference does it make? Because this is all somebody's opinion. And it just seems like, do we really know how much the verdict is in the hand of the 12 people that are in that jury box? I don't know that we get that. Like, it's no amount of opinioning. Like, we could talk about these topics, these crime cases and stuff until we are blue in the face. That is not going to necessarily ever affect when they pick a jury, because they are going to pick a jury that they're almost certain does not know anything about these cases. that's I don't know, probably one of the most important jobs that the lawyer is going to have is picking the right jury. And the right jury in any case is getting people who they feel will follow the rules, who will, once they lay out the rules, they'll follow the rules. Once they lay out the case, they'll listen to the case. And they will be the most likely, because we're all people, right? So we don't have any perfect people, but they're going to pick the people that are the most likely people to listen and go by what's being presented only. That's who they're going to pick. So, I mean, I just don't understand why anybody is so upset if my opinion had been, because, I listen to Tisa, I listen to a lot of them. And Tisa's opinion was very much, they proven the RICO. They got him on the RICO. They got him. Diddy's gone. Diddy's finished. Diddy is washed up. They got him. This came out. They got him. There's another guy I listened to. He was very much on, they got him. Let's see. Gangsta Granny. Hey, Gangsta Granny. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for subscribing. And thank you for stopping by. But yeah, I mean, just like a lot of people were very, very opinionated, but at the same time, it don't mean nothing. Because if you're not in that jury box and somebody like me or you probably or anybody else, they're not going to be the people that are in the jury box. They're going to get people that are going about their way, living their lives, not overly influenced on TV shows and news and social media. That's what they're going to try to do. They might not get it on every single juror. They might miss a little bit, but they're going to get a good feel for who they have in those rooms when they're picking you. And they're going to try not to pick people that would already come with an opinion. So it's just like, we can't know. There's no way that we can know, because people like us that are looking at cases and stuff and knowing these people already, we're already somewhat biased. We've heard a lot of information along the way throughout the years. So many things have happened with this celebrity that we, know a lot about, or we think we know a lot about. And they're just not going, they're not going to pick people like that. And Gangsta Granny says that was a complete ish show. It was. I have work that I have to do tomorrow because I couldn't work. I was captivated. I was like from one channel to the next, trying to, pick up on what happened. It was a lot. It was a lot between waiting on the verdict, which that came out quick, but then following like what people were thinking after the verdict, and then the whole bail thing. It was a lot. Did y'all see where Armand did a more oil? He was doing, so I heard him later this evening, and he said he did that as kind of like a celebration for just himself. There's a news story that said it was Diddy supporters that was doing that, but it wasn't. It was Armand. He said it was his idea, and I'm talking about Armand Wiggins, the content creator. He said it was his idea. It just kind of came to him, and he had like his small bottle of baby oil or whatever, and he said he just did that to kind of celebrate, like, people literally moved to New York for a little while for these couple of months to cover the trial. And it's like, I was here, I did it. I did my big one. I mean, a lot of these content creators actually ended up going on other larger platforms and getting more exposure and probably making some different, picking up a bag from these places. And so he was celebrating himself. He was like, I'm not celebrating Diddy, I'm celebrating me, that, I did this, and got through it all the way to the end. So that was another one that was funny. And when that happened, I happened to be looking at Lovely T. So Lovely T, she was talking and walking around, and then she saw a commotion and saw that Armand was over there. And I think she might have thought that Armand was fighting. It was so funny. So when she got up there and she saw that he was like showing out with this baby oil, she was like, oh my God, Armand. I think she thought, what in the world are you doing? But I don't know. He's got this more oil thing that he does on his channel. Gangsta Granny, you think so? Oh my God. Yeah. That was a whole lot. Neek at Night, she was there. Neek at Night got a chance to get on CNN, I think a couple times. So I don't know. It just makes me, the thing that made me happy was kind of like Armand was saying. I think I was happy that they did it. They went out there, they took a chance. They, some of them were out there every day. What is his name? Make It Make Sense. I was about to say something else. Make It Make Sense. He did a good job. They all really represented, maybe not all. There were a lot of content creators out there that I don't know and I never heard of before. Just seeing their faces, I wouldn't even know how to get to their channels because I wasn't familiar with some of them. But the ones that I know and knew of, I was real proud of them. They did like a really good job. I know when Neek at Night, when they asked her, actually, I think they asked another man for like a quick interview, and he turned it down and said, you should ask this lady to do it. And that happened to be Neek. And Neek, she did a real good job with that interview. It was real impromptu. She did a good job with that. And then they called her today for another interview on CNN. Gangsta Granny says, I could not believe he was caught slipping like that. But I do like Armand, uh, the YouTube content creator. Some anyway don't like him. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, and I don't know because because I'm not. I know of Armand Wiggins by like name before this whole Diddy trial got started, but I don't think I'd ever looked at his shows. I think I had just passed by him on YouTube, but I hadn't really looked at his content before. Um, so, but I just know like they did a really good job. Like most all of them did a really good job. So, and they got, recognized and everything. So I hate that it is hard to take a side. I will say that because you will be people will be upset with you when you're on the other side of where they are. And then like on today, when Diddy he didn't get that trafficking, he didn't get that RICO, you know, I would imagine that the people that were like really saying every day, sort of like, Tisa and some of the other ones. I know Ticket. I enjoy listening to Ticket TV. Ticket was really, saying that they had proven up the RICO. But when I tell you, if you're not on that jury, you don't know what's going to happen. I think this is a perfect example of that. Uh, yeah, they get upset. I mean, so and then if you don't pick a side, people realize like, oh, what's your opinion? What do you think? People won't hardly let you not pick a side. Did you? Well, because we're human, I think the jury, you know what, as far as feeling sorry for somebody, this is what I came up with. So when we found out they were having a hard time on count one, I was like, you know what? He might walk on all these charges because it was almost like that was the case, right? And they said like we have people that won't budge. So to me that said like some people are not going to, it's either going to be a hung, and if it's not hung then they're going to have to get these people over to not guilty because the I felt like whoever was holding out for not guilty really did feel like they didn't want to give Diddy life. And I don't think, because I know what all the RICO charge would entail, like them having being able to seize his assets and stuff like that. I didn't think that he should get that either. I did think maybe he should get the count of trafficking for Cassie. I was not convinced on trafficking for Jane Doe. Jane Doe, the way that testimony came out, it was like my lover and all this stuff, and he's still paying her rent and all that. I didn't think the jury was going for it. Most people weren't going for it. I wasn't going for it. I'm like, of course, yeah, you shouldn't beat people into submission, but he didn't even really, she didn't get the hands until she hit him first, and then it was like it was calculated. So as far, and I thought he was going home today on bond. Not, I wasn't rooting for him to go home on bond, but I did think he was going to get it. So when he didn't get it, I know he was devastated. I know he was devastated because I think he was thinking, I'm going home, I'm eating, I'm sleeping in my bed, I'm taking a good bath, and you just get, and then they brought in so many family members after they came back for the bond part. So I would say, I know he was disappointed. Um, oh, let's see. Yeah, Tisa, but she talks so fast, and I mean, it's just her way. It's just it's how she does things. But I don't know. She has a huge platform. You got to look at that because it's like people do like it. A lot of like she's got over 500,000. I wonder how much her count has gone up now, but she's got 500,000 subscribers. So whatever she's saying over there all the time, which I never really I think I started coming across her channel when Diddy started getting so many accusations. Like Gene Deal was talking all the time, and Jaguar Wright, and the lawsuits. And so I started stopping by her channel a little bit to hear some of that stuff. But I always kind of wonder, like, who are her sources, because she's always got these ironclad sources where she knows stuff and stuff like that. And I just be wondering, like, who are these sources? And you know, how do we know? How do we know? But it's kind of like she's got the National Enquirer approach. Let's see. You said you blocked her and don't even want to see her stuff. Well, yeah, that's one way. That's one way. When you tell YouTube, don't show me this content at all. Okay, so Alex said, to be honest, I went to high school with one of Diddy's right-hand man types. Never got the idea he was cray like that. I actually got invited to a Diddy party in Houston for All-Star Weekend and didn't go. You got invited to Diddy's and you didn't go? Wow. You must have not, were you not feeling good? Was something else going on to where you couldn't make it? Because, before anybody knew any of this stuff, like somebody was saying today, everybody wanted to be at a Diddy party. He had these huge, notorious parties. Yeah. Yeah, and that is, it is like, back to Tisa, it is kind of the feeling that you get, like, how do you know all these things? Like, it always comes out like this is an exclusive. I know this for sure, my sources. And I just always wonder, like, really, how do you know this for sure? Like, who told you these things? Who told you? How do you know? And she doesn't, I think she does a little bit of interviewing, but as far as normally you just see her. So I don't think she interviews people a lot. So it just kind of makes you wonder, like, how do you get all this information? If you have to do that, I don't want to be a part of it. I heard that. Yeah, I'm like, Alex, did you have like a sixth sense about not going to the party? Or what? Let's see. My 18-year-old grandson said that Diddy is gay. I found myself defending Diddy because I have never thought he was. Right. Nor do I think he is. I just think he is a freak. And to be honest, yeah. I heard Armand Wiggins, and there's so many things that people like, and the way it's hard to touch that because it's just, we know it's a deviation. It's definitely a deviation. It kind of feels like one of those things that is going to escalate to something else. So if it hadn't got there yet, like, it came from a place, and maybe he dibbled and dabbled in something else and found that he just wanted to go all the way. And because what they did say, that they were always looking at corn, right? um, that was one of the things that the girlfriends would say, that if they weren't going to actually have the event, they were going to look at they were going to spend hours looking at the corn. So that's another thing about, I don't know, when people are getting into stuff, it's a real slippery slope, because humans tend to not stay. We like get better or get worse, but people don't really kind of stay where they are in a lot of things. You elevate, you move on, you grow, or sometimes you start declining if you're not using what you have. So to me, I feel like he kind of escalated up to that point, probably looking at so much that he wanted to start acting it out. And then if he hasn't actually, uh, gotten into him just man and man, which I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he has. It seemed like the missing piece, like almost like people were leaving that part out on purpose, because as much as he maybe had done to them, maybe um, they didn't want to like out him like that. And it felt like that. Like so many people just didn't want to out him. But yeah, I think that he's gone there. And that'll be the real, um, I don't know, just interesting if there's ever some type of a situation where we find out that he was having his way with the people as well. But it seems so odd that, you have the whole man there. He never wanted a woman, he only wanted men. He wanted to, this was something that was so funny that Armand Wiggins would say every day. He wanted to play with the sloppy seconds. It's just like gross. It's so gross. How do you want to mess around with that? Even if it's yours, you want to mess around with that. That's just something. That's just on a whole. I can't even imagine. So, but yeah, if he hadn't done it, he's going, and I think he has, and I think for some reason people are covering for him on that part. Like whatever he's done, we're not gonna say that. Let's see, where was Auntie today when the verdict was read? Who is Auntie? His real auntie? Yeah. Oh gosh, Jackie. I'm missing it. Jackie. Who is Aunt Jackie? Aunt Jackie. Maybe I'm having a brain freeze on that. The lady everyone calls Auntie. She used to be around. Oh, okay. I probably know her if I see her, but she must be somebody that I don't watch on a regular basis. Cause I didn't know him either. I didn't know Uda until all the content creators would start talking to each other. I didn't know a lot of them. She always got on their nerves, the lady with the glasses, and always drove the content creators crazy. I know another lady that does that, but her name is not Jackie. Her name is not Jackie. Um, She didn't have a great afro, did she? Did she have a great afro? Yeah, I don't know her. Unless she's the one with the great afro and her name is something else. And what about what's his name now? Lucci. Charlucci. Charlucci gave like at first I thought he like completely didn't even know anybody for real. Okay, she was loud. I'm gonna have to go back and look. Now it's making me want to see who she was. Um, but yeah, that Lucci guy. So it seems like at first nobody like they were not really paying him much attention, and then later on he started being the escort and somewhat of a bodyguard. Um, I don't know because he said he was a family friend, kind of like a god brother to Diddy, a family friend, all these things. And so at the end, he was dressing up in his suit. He had really, I feel like his role evolved with the family as time went on. Let's see, the guy with the twist, the black younger guy, just got into it with her a few days ago. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and look at this outside footage because that was just where a whole other show was. It really was in the mornings on the breaks. It's just a whole other life of its own out there. They had the line sitters. Um, they had one man that I think he might have been homeless. They said he always had the same thing on, and he would kind of act out and get into it with people, but yet he was getting paid to line sit. That was Diddy's best friend. Now, do you think that was Diddy's best friend, or is that maybe like Diddy's old friend? Because Diddy did grow up in New York, right? So I was thinking maybe that was somebody that kind of got left behind, and he decided I'm gonna go to this. I'm gonna go to this trial, and I'm gonna reconnect with these people. Surprised that you don't remember her. She is someone you can't forget. Oh, let's see. The guy with the twist. Okay, no. Yeah, this man at first, okay, he was wearing a free puff shirt or hoodie or something. Um, so he had his free puff on, and then so by the end of the trial, and then today he had the t-shirts made that said "Frico is not Rico," whatever that statement was, where I got this title. So he had his shirt on, and then but at first he was wearing a free puff shirt every day. Yeah, yeah, I think he really, I think he proved himself. I think he's gonna get a job. I think he might have won himself a place in the Diddy assistant job, because that job is open. So that's his true best friend. Yeah, he was. He was. He would open the door. They would let him through to open the door, get the family out. walk in. Oh my goodness. Okay, I didn't realize that. And I'm gonna tell you why. So there was a lady named Infamous Sylvia. She was out there. The lady I'm talking about with the gray afro. So she decided that she was going to interview him one day. And it was a really disjointed interview because, the cars start coming. And so they start looking for the cars to see who's driving up. And then she would go back to asking him another question. And then, she'd have the camera off of him and he would be trying to answer the question. And so it was kind of a funny interview. But anyway, toward the end of it, he's talked about his brand, and he sells, like, I guess he has like a clothing brand. So he talked about his brand. So I went over to Instagram and looked at his brand, and then he had a very low following count. Now I have a low following count, so believe me, I'm not trying to, say anything derogatory about somebody's following. But the way that he was talking about his friendship with Diddy, and then he also said some things that kind of made me feel like you don't really know Diddy like that, because he was saying he doesn't use drugs, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. I'm like, now some stuff you just probably ought to not say. Either you shouldn't say it or you don't know, because like everybody kind of knows he uses these drugs, what drugs he uses and everything. So anyway, he was talking about that, saying he didn't use any drugs, of course, saying he's innocent and things of this nature. But I just felt like, if this is my really, really good friend and I have a clothing brand, like, y'all have not been able to help me to kind of like get more people following me, and to help me get my following up so that I can sell what I'm selling. So it just seemed like he wasn't kind of as close as he was making it seem, because I was like, wow, he's got a really low following for him to be in proximity to these people with millions and millions of followers on Instagram, when they can easily go send people to his pages like Diddy, the boys, maybe not the girls, of course, they're young. They're going to have a whole nother demographic. But I was just like, surely Diddy could have put him on a little bit better than this. So yeah. So his Instagram is Lucci Brand. It's like Gucci, but with the L and then brand. So yeah, definitely check it out, because I reviewed her interview with him, and it was just funny because of the way that it kept stopping and starting, and he would start back trying to answer her questions, and she was not thinking about him because they were looking for the cars to come down the street. It was funny. Yeah, when he started saying he don't do drugs, I was like, come on, man, you got to stop. You got to stop the nonsense, because that's something that is going to come out. If you don't already know it, it's definitely coming out. You can't just say the man don't do drugs. And that's pretty much, nobody's even surprised by that, even in the court. All right, I got a little bit longer. Does anybody want to come up and talk about your Diddy opinions? Let's see, I'm gonna drop this link real quick. All right, there's a link. Let me know. Let me see if I pulled any more clips to show from today. You highlight still on here? Yeah. So I dropped the link if anybody wants to talk for a few minutes. On what do you think about Diddy? How much time might he get? Of course, we know that the judge can do whatever they can do. Now, he might get some leniency because he doesn't have any priors like on record. He might get leniency for that. And really, the federal judicial system does do things a lot different than what we normally see in the state when somebody's in trouble. So it is going to be somewhat different how they go about it. Your house is too noisy. I understand that because I had a dog that was yelling at me. He just stopped a little bit ago. He was trying to get out of the cage. But I said, I got to ignore you and talk about Diddy for a minute. There's a lady named Gangster Grandma that comes up on a live streamer that I listen to. He does political live streaming. Is that you, Gangster Granny? Do you talk politics too? Let's see. You said, no, ma'am, that's not you. Oh, gosh. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because that would be hilarious. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, she's quite the, she has a lot to say about the political. I won't even, that's a whole nother tangent I'll get on if I start talking about the politics that are going on right now. But yeah, she's very spirited when she talks her talk. All right, I don't see but yes, I do understand. I don't see anybody else coming up, and I think I played the clip that I didn't want to just play Armand's whole live stream. I just kind of wanted to pick up a clip and show y'all. I feel like there was one other thing though. Let me see if I can see it real quick. Where was it? Now the dog is snoring. No, it must have. I don't see it. It was an article I wanted to click on, but I think it went away. Oh my gosh, you have 12 grandkids. You know what? I applaud you. Do you keep them? Do they come over and stuff? I can barely manage the 3 that I have all together at one time. I really can't. So I try I try to get them just 1 and 2 at a time. My goodness, 12. God knows what he's doing, because they would be like, we don't ever see our grandma. No. Look, y'all can't come over. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come visit you. Let's see. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, when I have ran out of patience is when when I put the belt around my neck. They know, okay, she gave us all the patience she had, and she done ran out. I start walking around. I get my belt and I just put it around my neck. They like, oh, we better straighten up, because she done got serious with us. Yeah, that is a real blessing. You got a lot of them. That's good. That is really good. Let's see. Okay. All right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here and get my little few 6-7 hours of sleep then, and so I can get back up and try to actually do my work today, because I definitely didn't really do my work today. Yes, I mean, to think like you got so much shopping to do for birthdays, Christmas, all the things. Okay, so his Instagram is Lucci Brand, Lucci. Let me pull up Instagram right quick and I'll just show it. Because I do hope that he's maybe he's picked up some by now from talking to people, doing his interviews on the street and stuff. So maybe his following, maybe his customer base has gotten a little bit larger since this has been going on. Let's see. Search. Okay, so let me share. Stop sharing that. Go to Instagram. Okay. All right, so it's Lucci Brand NYC. Make sure it's showing over here. And there he is today. Let's play his Insta. Oh, okay. You got it too. Okay. Let's see what he was talking about today. Oh, it's not. There's no sound. What am I? Oh.
Diddy coin shirts, and then I exposed the protesters.
Yeah. Well, the protesters.
They blamed you.
Because I was out here with the free puff shirts, right? And someone tried to capitalize on my free puff shirt, and they came out with the free Diddy shirt, I guess. And they said we were selling shirts from
they were paying people $20 an hour, and now here we are on the park bench, the verdict. And I was caught on camera today holding up the shirt that you handed out to all the influencers, and it's the RICO is not a RICO. So you started handing these out when?
About a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
And is it because you felt like the RICO charges were weak that the prosecution presented?
No, not just that. It was more or less of they were trying to make you believe that him freaking off in his bedroom was a RICO case.
I can't with the freaking off as a verb.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. Well, they made it a verb.
Yeah.
Right. They changed the whole. They changed the whole dictionary now.
People might start saying, "Do you want to go freak off?" And people are going to know what that means.
Yeah, right. It was a personal thing. Like, it was a personal thing that he did with her. That was their nickname. They might be talking around people and he'll say something like, "You want to F-O?" That's what is this their personal thing.
What did Diddy say to you this morning?
That he loved me, stay hydrated, and he appreciated me for being here.
Are you going to get any special reward? Because you've been doing a lot of work with these T-shirts.
My reward is my brother getting out of there. But anybody want the T-shirts, you got to go to my Instagram, Lucci Brand, LUCCI NYCBRAND. That's the only official way you're going to get that shirt. You get it from anybody else, you're not getting a real.
Wow, do you think they're going to make bootleg RICO
RICO
shirts?
I already see one already.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They so this is the only.
Are you mad that I got the credit for your joke?
No, it's not, and it wasn't a joke.
Well,
I got
everyone's saying it's a joke. They're like, oh, Emily's doing this comedy bit, holding up that rhyme.
No, Emma, no, because you're funny. You're
They're all saying it's a freaking joke.
No,
because I got caught wearing it.
Yeah,
but look at, he's wearing it.
It's a statement. Yeah, you already know. RICO, you already know. It's a statement. It's a true statement.
There's just been so much t-shirt stuff. You guys check out the t-shirts. Lucci brand NYC. Hey, you're gonna be next. You're gonna be next. It's gonna be you. It's gonna be you. All right. Look at how they.
All right, so that's some of the shenanigans that was going on at the court building today. So that's the guy that says he's some friend of the family. I don't know how deep it runs, of course, but he is a friend of Diddy, friend of the family. Obviously, they know him and they trust him. So he is connected to them. So that's his Instagram over there. If you would like a Frico is not a RICO shirt, then I guess you can run on over there to his Instagram and request a t-shirt. I don't know how he's got it set up, but yeah. All right, y'all. Well, thank y'all so much for dropping in tonight and chatting with me. Thank you so much, Gangsta Granny, Alex, Mimi says she'll come back on the replay. So thank you for stopping in, Mimi. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, but I will definitely be back and I'll see y'all on the next time. Bye-bye.